Hey guys, welcome back to Rocky Mountain Homestead. Today I'm taking you guys along and we are going to make some delicious cherry jam with cinnamon and clove. It's one of my favorites. It's always up on our pantry shelf, but we've kind of went through them the past few months. So I'm going to replenish that and I'm going to take you guys along and show you the steps that it takes to make this and get this on your pantry shelf. Okay, everybody, let's jump right into it. So first off, in case you're new, I'm going to try and explain this. So it's pretty easy to understand, but not so detailed where somebody who already knows how to can is going to want to just click off and get annoyed with all the details. So when canning, water bath canning, pressure canning, you always want a super clean surface. You want everything, sterile, especially water bath canning. It doesn't have the high heat that pressure canning does. So, I go to great lengths to make sure my jars are really sterile for water bath canning and pressure canning. But with pressure canning, everything will basically be very well sterilized with the high heat that's involved in the pressurizing process. So what we're going to do is get started. We have our ladle to scoop our mixture. Everything's been really washed in hot soapy water, clean mat. You have your tongs to pick your jars up. You have your debubbler, and at the end of it, you have the measuring tool. You also have your funnel to put in your jar and put your product into your jar. I always keep white vinegar here with a dishcloth, a clean one, to wipe the rims and get any residue off before putting your lids on. And I'll show you that process when I get to it. And also, I have my lids in pretty warm water here. They're saying nowadays you don't really have to do that, but I am kind of old school with that and probably will always do that just because that's how I did it from the beginning. And then you have your rings. So you also, for this recipe, are going to need a 1.75 ounce of premium fruit pectin. I have Sure-Gel. This is optional, but I love using it. I swear this is what makes the recipe. I have half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon and half a teaspoon of ground cloves. And then over here, I have 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. Now you always want to use bottled lemon juice for this. You don't want to use a fresh lemon because the acidity levels will vary. So with canning, you want to use bottled lemon juice. So for this recipe, I have 4 tablespoons of bottled lemon juice. I am using the Lakewood Organic from Azure. And then I have 5 cups of granulated white sugar. And then over here, I need to measure these out, but what you will need is 4 cups of pitted chopped sweet cherries. These are the black cherries that I always get from Azure Standard frozen. I just need to chop them up. So you will need 4 cups of chopped cherries. I wanted to show you what I use personally when I'm doing this. If I can lift it with my left hand. It's a pretty sturdy pot, but there is a significant amount of cherry juice in here, and you can see that it drained all the juice. Now you can reuse this. You can use it however you want. You can put it in a drink to add a little flavor. You can do all kinds of things with this. So go ahead and Google it and look it up. And I wouldn't throw that out. I always try to use it for something. So I'm going to get these cherries chopped up on this cutting board, and I'll bring you back when I have 4 cups measured out. All right, you guys. So I got 4 cups of cherries chopped up, ready to go. And we got our pot right here. Now I have this set to medium-high heat. What you're going to do is add your cherries into your pot. You're going to add in your cinnamon, your cloves, and your lemon juice. I'm just going to give that a good little whisk. And once that's blended, I'm going to go ahead and add in that pectin. I'm going to bump this up to high heat, and you're just going to whisk that pectin in and kind of just incorporate the spices, the cherries, and the pectin all together over high heat. and you will want to bring this to a boil, stirring frequently. I will bring you back when we are at a boil. Okay, you guys, we got a nice boil going. So it's been about 3 minutes, maybe 3.5. It's gonna be shadowed for a second. Sorry, I'm using some lighting. And what you're going to do is once you add this sugar in, you're going to want to return it to a full rolling boil, and you're going to want to stir it constantly. So what you're going to want to do is get it to a boil that you cannot stir down. And what that means, if you're new and you're not quite sure what that means, a boil that you cannot stir down is basically when it's boiling and you see it starting to bubble and you go like that with your spoon, you kind of stop that boil in its tracks, and it needs to work itself back up to come to a boil, if that makes sense. So when it starts boiling and you go like this and you're able to stop and break that boil, you know, and stir it and it kind of sits like that, that's not a hard rolling boil. A full rolling boil is when you're mixing and mixing and mixing, and regardless of how frequently you're mixing, how quickly you're mixing, it is still boiling and you cannot stop it. So that is what we want this to come to. And I will bring you back when we are there, and I'll let you know about how long it took. All right, you guys, it has been about 4 minutes. And as you can see, I am stirring. And it doesn't matter. It is still boiling. So what you're going to want to do when you're at the full rolling boil, you are going to want to go ahead and add a minute to a timer. And I've got a minute going. And we're going to just go ahead and stir constantly for 1 minute. And you see all this foam accumulating on the top. We're also going to skim that off once this is finished, and I'll show you that step as well. Some people, you know, I've seen over the years add a little bit of butter to their jam, and it supposedly, you know, then there's really no foam during this part. But me personally, I've never done that, so I don't mind just scraping it off. And guys, the foam's actually really delicious. You can throw it on some toast. My kids just like eating it plain, so I usually just pop it in the fridge and save what we have, you know, whether we're making strawberry jam, cherry jam, whatever. Has it been a minute already? I guess it has. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna shut my timer off. Well, actually, I'm going to shut my heat off first because you don't want this to boil anymore. Shut your heat. And now I'm going to actually pop it to a cooling rack to remove it from the heat and put it over where my canning supplies are. I also should note that in here, I keep my jars. So when I fill this up with water, I have my jars in there as well, sterilizing just to make sure they're extra clean for this. And I just kind of have it on low right now, so it just simmers with the lid on. And I'm going to go ahead and lift this rack and get these guys ready to use up. And yes, I put way more jars in here than I'm going to need. I was going to double it, but I figured, I think if there's any cherries left, I might just pop them in the dehydrator and have a kind of 2-in-1 thing to show you guys. So now to skim the foam off, I have a little dish right here, and I just got a clean spoon. All you're going to do is go across the top, kind of see it come off. If you let it sit off the heat for a minute, you can really skim it off pretty easily, because see how it's kind of setting up on the top. And that's all you do. You just skim it off. That one I actually got a little cherry piece with. And that's all you're going to do. Just skim lightly across the top. And see, it's a pretty thick texture, but it's really good. Or what you can do, when I do strawberry jam, I will skim off the foam and give it to my kids in like a cup of milk. It's kind of like strawberry milk. They like it like that. You know, just a little treat, so nothing goes to waste. But you do want to skim off your foam, especially if you want a clear jewel looking appearance for your jams. You know, that really vibrant, beautiful, clear color like you see right there. I don't know how my lighting is, but like that's a gorgeous color. It'll set up like that, but if you have the foam in it, it's going to look, you know, a little cloudy and pale and won't, you know, stand out. So at this part, this is when, you know, I've seen some people add in a little bit of butter and it kind of, you know, gets rid of it, but I think it's just as easy to skim this off, so I will be right back. All right, so we got a good amount of foam right there. I did leave some cherries in for the kids. And we are ready to get this canned up. So now what you're going to want to do is take your jars, tip them upside down with the tongs, empty that water out, and put them on the surface you're going to be working on. Okay, I have my jars over here. I should have mentioned in the beginning, and I'm sorry I didn't. This is going to make roughly 6 8-ounces, 6 8-ounce half pints. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your mixture and you're going to go ahead and put it in. And you want a 1/4 inch of headspace for this. So I'm going to add a little more because I know I'm not there yet. There we go. I'm going to go ahead. Take the funnel out, just pop it in the next one over. And this is your little measuring debubbler. The bottom right here is about a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. And then the third one up is 3/4 inch and then 1 inch. So right here, you want a 1/4 inch headspace. And that is pretty close. Finish filling up the rest of these jars. So if you guys have made cherry jam before, leave down in the comments, what do you guys usually do with your cherry juice? You know, like I said, you know, you can add it to a drink for flavor. Sometimes my kids will put it on, you know, something like ice cream if we have it. I think they've added it into, no, I think that was strawberry. They've added into milk. So let me know. But I definitely would not waste it. You can reuse it. And yeah, it's absolutely delicious. So let me get these last 3 jars here filled up. So 1/4 inch, guys. That one's good. Here we go. And sometimes, you know, a little tip I'm going to leave is I've always kept a couple extra jars in the canner, at least 1 or 2, because sometimes it says it makes a certain amount, and sometimes I've gotten more, and other times I've gotten less. So never, you know, look at a recipe and think that it's always going to be exact. I don't know. For some reason it can vary, and yeah, so this actually I'm going to have a little left over, but I don't think enough for another. Let me check. So there is some left over in there, and I've got all 6 jars filled. Probably shouldn't have used cherry juice on my new drying mat. That probably wasn't smart. 1/4. Okay, let's see if we can get a 7th jar. Let's see. I don't know if we are, but if we can get close, let's see. Maybe. Maybe. Let me scrape it. Doing a little scrapey here. Let's see what we can get. Ooh, we're getting closer. I'm about to bust out a spatula. It's like every bit counts, guys. This would be so silly. I'm literally like a 1/4 inch off. Hold on 1 second. I'm so close. I'm scraping every bit. Let's see where we're at. Can we do it? You guys, I think we got it. So we got 7. We do 7 half-pint jars. So like I said, always, you know, if you can get more, great. It doesn't always happen, but oh yeah, we're good. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is debubble. Now you want to debubble your jars, the jam inside, you want to get out air so there is no air trapped in your jar. So what you do is you just take your debubbler and you go around. If this was something like, say, blueberry pie filling or something, I would kind of put my debubbler down and press inward. So you get it, when you have chunks and pieces of food in it, you kind of want to make sure all the trapped air is out. So that's all you're doing is going. And, after I do this, I usually check the headspace. Also, the headspace is very important, and what would happen if you didn't debubble it? Well, one thing that can happen is during the process of canning, the air could try to escape the air bubbles during the process, and some of the liquid can actually get siphoned out of your jars also. So it's always good to debubble. Have I forgotten before? Yeah, but you do want to remember it's something you kind of need to do. So just debubbling. And yeah, we are going to go ahead and wipe the rims here in a second. Just kind of move it all around, get any trapped air out. I probably do it more excessively than I actually need to, but then I know it's been done. So, can't remember if I did this one now. I was yapping. Can't talk and do things at the same time. So anyway, yeah, I think they're all good. So I'm just going to double check the head spaces real quick. All right, they're all about 1/4 inch. So what I'm going to do is take a jar and I dip my cloth into the vinegar. And as you can see, it doesn't matter how neat you try to be. I'm super sloppy when I'm filming for whatever reason. Doesn't matter. There's always going to be sticky residue, and you want to wipe the rim with the vinegar because that could compromise your seal, and you wouldn't want a false seal when really the lid was just being held on by a bunch of sticky residue. So I'm just going to show you this one and then do the others real quick and take you back. But I even get the edge, like that little crevice over here, because, the lid kind of goes right up to the edge. So you really want to make sure there is nothing sticky that can compromise your seal. And then you're going to take your little debubbler tool, try and get one lid, not two, of course, because I'm filming. Oh yeah, I'm messy. I'm messy tonight. So you're going to go ahead and put your lid down, put your lid on it, and then put your lid on, put your ring on, I should say. Sorry, this is much easier. That's hot to do with 2 hands. So, and another thing, you always want your stuff the same temperature. So why I simmer, so fingertip tight. Hear that? Hear that? You want to only use your fingers when turning. So not the palm of your hand or anything, but I always do it like at least once or twice just to make sure. And I go back a little bit and do it like that. You don't want it too tight. So I'm just going to wipe the rims, get the lids on, get the ring around it, and bring you back when I put them in the canner. guys, so I also want to say when you're carrying them over to your canner, you want to hold them very steadily, and you don't want to kind of, you don't want to tip it at all, because you don't want that jam to move around in the jar and get up under that seal before it seals properly. So I have these in. I cranked my heat up. I will bring you back when it's at a rolling boil. Okay, I just want to share with you guys just the times for this. I know it's so easy sometimes to run across a recipe online and then nobody shares what your canning time is. They just tell you what theirs is, and it's like, well, what's your altitude? How high are you? So this is just from my favorite book. It'll be linked down below. I finally have Amazon links, you guys. If you see something specific and just want a direct link to it, it'll be down in the description box below. The book does say 10 minutes to process this. So if you are at or below 1,000 feet sea level, 10 minutes. If you are at 1,001 to 3,000 feet, you're above sea level, you're going to do 5 minutes added on to the 10 minutes. So that would be 15 minutes. If you are 3,001 to 6,000 feet above sea level, you're going to do 10 minutes plus the 10 minutes. So that would be a total of 20 minutes. And then for me, because we're at about 7,600 feet, for 6,001 feet to 8,000 feet, you're going to want to add on 15 minutes. So instead of 10 minutes, it's going to be 25 minutes for me. And then if you're at 8,001 feet to 10,000 feet, you're going to add on 20 minutes. So it would be 30 minutes for you. So for me, you'll see me set my timer to 25 minutes. But just so you guys know the times, I'll put it down in the description below. Guys, we are at a full rolling boil. So I'm going to go ahead and add my timer. You hear that? That's what you want to hear for 25 minutes. You lucky ducks that are at a lower elevation only have to wait 10 minutes. Put it on high, and I'll see you back in 25 minutes. All right, you guys, it has been 25 minutes. Ooh, grab a pot holder. All right, you guys, look at that. They are done. I shut the heat off. And you're going to want to set a timer for 5 minutes at this point, and you kind of want them to rest with the lid off, kind of simmer down a little bit here before we pull them out and put them on. Please put them on a dish towel, a drying mat, whatever. Don't put them on a cold surface. You don't want that temperature shock. I will bring you back in 5 minutes. All right, you guys, it has been 5 minutes. Now, for the exciting part, it is time to lift our jars up. So what you're going to do is you're going to lift your jar up, straight up. Don't tip it. There is water that's on the lid. That's totally fine. It will evaporate. I promise. So what you're going to do is you're going to walk it over, and you're going to set it down on your dish towel or drying mat. I'm going to go get the other one. Now you're going to want to leave these alone. When you put them down, you do want to kind of space them out a little bit. They're piping hot. You do want to let these sit for at least 12 hours. I usually let mine sit between 12 to 24 hours, but usually by 12 hours, it is okay to go ahead and take that band off. And what I like to do personally is after 12 hours, I'll take the bands off, all of them, or the rings, whatever you want to call it. And I will, you check and make sure, every now and then. I rarely do, but you'll get one that it still looks like it didn't seal. So I don't know if you can see, but see how it's kind of bubbled up. Let me see if I can get a good shot. I really can't. Is it going to focus? Hold on. Let me try and do this for you guys. Okay, it's a weird angle, and trust me, I'm like up on my countertop completely, but see that middle? It's like puffed up. That is not sealed. When it's sealed, it's going to be, oh my God, my sweater got stuck on jelly or jam. It'll be like concaved in. It will, it'll look like it's a little bit sunken in instead of popped up, if that makes sense. So Oh, there's one. Let me shut my mouth, maybe. Oh, now you can hear them. Of course, as I was talking, hopefully you guys got to hear that. But sometimes you'll hear a really loud pop. Sometimes it'll be just a little dip, be a faint one, and that's totally fine. And let me see which one sealed. Was it that one? So actually that one we were just looking at sealed. I should have left the camera on it. That one's sealed and that one's sealed. So those are the three that made the little ping sounds. And sometimes, honestly, yeah, I'm not going to be able to get a good, I'm trying to see if I could show you. I don't think I could get a good angle. Cowboy candy I canned up the other day and totally deleted my video by accident, so that sucked. Most people do cowboy candy with the rings. I actually chop mine up, and I like to do more of a relish style for my cowboy candy. But anyway, you could probably see this one. I don't want to touch my other jars to get the right angle, so that's why I'm like, I'm just going to bring this because I just did these the other day. See how that's like concaved in? So once again, that one is up and like rounded on top. See? And then this one is, oh, come on, camera. That one is concaved in. It's sunken in. So that's what they'll look like when they seal. I've had some sometimes where I've seen it. I've seen which one made the pop sound. It was dull and it doesn't look as definite as that. And that's totally fine too. I've had that happen to faintly see it, but that's a good seal. And that's what it looks like as they seal up. So I won't touch my other ones and mess with them just to show you from the angle, but you get the idea. And that's mainly obviously for beginners to know what to look for. I hope you guys give this a try. And if you're, thinking about canning, you've been on the fence about it, these are some of the easiest things to try for starters. Because you really can't go wrong water bathing. Can up some applesauce. I have all kinds of canning videos coming up. I'm trying to at least release one a week, either a canning or dehydrating video, and that's going to go on for quite some time. And then, my goal is to have a video every other day. I've been using, this past week to kind of get an idea of what days I think would work. So yeah, every other day I plan to do a video and also throw in a bonus video as well. So my goal to have 4 videos out during the week. And I think I found days that work the best, but I think every Thursday is either going to be a canning video or a dehydrating video. And I will also have, just a wide variety of other videos throughout the week as well. So guys, give this a try. Don't be intimidated. My biggest regret about canning is that I waited so long and I didn't start sooner, especially pressure canning. I was so intimidated. So if you guys are new, seriously, if I can do this, anybody can do this. Just, follow the steps, be careful, be clean. I know I say that as this is splattered with all kinds of stuff, but it was during the process. You know what I mean? Lots of hand washing, keep your utensils and everything really clean in your jars. And I think you'll do fine. You just follow everything and you really can't go wrong. So, and there's nothing better than having stuff on the shelf ready to go. It's not taking up room in your freezer, not taking up room in your fridge. Give it a try, you guys. Seriously, it's so easy. It's not that hard. And once you do it, you're going to be like, why did I wait so long? That's my biggest regret, is just waiting so long. So now I'm so thankful I know how to do all these things, and I am working on passing these skills down to my kids. And I'm thankful they have an interest in this and bread making and milling wheat berries and just doing all the things. And yeah, I think it's a great skill to know how to have. Anyway, if any of you are new to canning, if you're trying things out, if you want to know different recipes and what specific recipes you're looking to do, and I will try to do a video on that to help you if you need to visually see it. If you want an in-depth video, if you want a basic, cut to the chase type video, just let me know in the comments below. And I have no problem, getting something from the store and just whipping up something to show you in a canning video. The next video. Until then, take care and God bless.